Howdy folks, welcome into Weapon Light Wednesdays. Starting a new series where we're going to be testing some budget weapon mounted lights. And first up we have the Votatu HL-10. So I got this light out for a little bit of testing. I put 100 rounds through it on this Beretta APX. Held up really well, no problems there. All right, folks, so taking a look at what we got in the box here, this is the Votatu HL-10 series. We get a user manual, shows you how to charge it, product overview, how to use your different rail adapters, all that good stuff. We get an extra cross screw. We get the rail adapters, SIG P320, Glock, Smith & Wesson 99, 1913 rail. Get all those. You get the light itself, 800 lumen light, and you get a charging cable, and you get an Allen wrench. That's what comes in the box on the HL-10 series. This is an 800 lumen light, and we're going to do some testing on it. This is IPX4, so water resistant, not waterproof, and I don't want to destroy these. I want to kind of test if they meet the specifications they advertise. So I left it outside in the rain for, I don't know, 20 minutes or so. All right, so we've been out here in the rain for about 10 minutes or so. Yeah, we're still good. Just let it rain on it and it held up just fine. I did a few tests with charging it, so I ran it all the way dead, which took about an hour as it came out of the box. So it did have at least a partial charge, almost a full charge. They say 75-minute runtime, constant on runtime. It made it about 60 minutes, so it did have a pretty full charge when I got it. Charging it back up is supposed to take an hour and a half. It took a little bit over. I can tell you that it is bright as hell. I'm not going to shine it in your face because I find that annoying even when it's on camera, but it is bright as hell. I'll show you a little test in the dark here in just a minute, as soon as it gets dark. All right, so we're out here, pretty dark out. We do have a street light over here, so a little ambient light, but I'm just going to light up the back of the yard over here, see how big of a, so not a real tight hot spot on this, but super damn bright. All right, so you can see here, we're in a nice dark room in the house. We're just gonna light this up. You can see that's pretty damn bright. Check strobe function. Woo, nice and bright. All right, we're gonna test for shock proof. Go ahead. Let's see what you got, babe. Get in there, shock it. No, touch it. Yep, it's shock proof. All right, no, just kidding, folks. So here's the real shock test. So that was about 2 meters on the concrete. We're still on. Kind of scuffed it up a little bit. A few little scuffs on it now, but
Can I shock it?
that worked. Probably from about 1.5 meters up, 4 or 5 feet actually. I kind of tossed it up in the air and down on concrete, scuffed it up a little bit, but it held up just fine, still works. A couple downsides to this: these paddles here are super sensitive. If you barely touch that, it comes on. So if you're setting this down on something, even kind of just gently setting it down, it can activate that light. They are very, very sensitive, and I would say that's a little bit of a downside to this. The other thing to me that's kind of a downside is it is an Allen wrench attachment, so you do have to have an Allen wrench to see. I set that off. I barely touched it. You have to have an Allen wrench to put this on or take it off or anything like that, and that's a bit annoying for me. I'd rather like a flathead where you can use anything, a pocket knife or anything, to get it off or on. But other than that, this is a pretty solid little light. So the big downsides: the paddles are super sensitive, and the fact that it is an Allen key adjustment, good strobe function on there. So for the strobe function, you will press both paddles at the same time. That'll give you strobe function. It's pretty natural to do with your trigger finger and your thumb. Not too annoying. If you press them both again, it'll go back to solid beam. You press either paddle to turn on or off. So pretty basic light, pretty easy, the controls are pretty easy. That's what I'm trying to say. Oof, words are hard. So far I'm pretty impressed with this light for what it is. I mean, this thing was about $30. I think it's actually even cheaper right now. And it did hold up through a drop test and a water test and a shooting test. So pretty good little budget light. I would say this would be good if it's something, like a nightstand gun or something where you're not picking it up and handling it a lot, or putting it in a bag or something like that, because I'm barely touching that paddle. The other thing I noticed is the left paddle is not quite as responsive as the right. It takes a little bit harder push on the left. The right is like feather light touch. So being a right-handed shooter, that's good for me. If you're a left-handed shooter, it's probably fine. It's not like you have to Hercules it or anything. The right is a little easier. The biggest problem for me is when you go to set it down, if you just barely bump something, that's coming on, and it can run the battery down on you and you don't realize it. But I'd say all in all, so far, it's a pass in certain situations. The deal breakers for me on this would be, see there, I barely touched it, it's on. That's a problem. That's a deal breaker for me. I don't want something that I, stuff in a bag or something, but for the right purpose, for the right scenario, this would be fine. I will keep it. So it's a pass. I'll just use it for very certain things. So that's what I got for you today on this Votatu HL-10. Pretty solid little light with a few flaws. We're gonna give it a pass with an asterisk. I'll be coming back to you with more of these weapon light tests. I'm gonna try to release one. We'll see how it goes. I may do every Wednesday, I may do every other Wednesday. YouTube is taking longer and longer to monetize videos. The review process is now taking over a week sometimes. And so I may have to do every other week just to make sure, unless I get some lights kind of built up and I can crank out some videos and wait for them to be reviewed. So it may be every other week, but I'm gonna start releasing these on Wednesdays, weapon light reviews. Hope you've enjoyed it. I will link this light down in the description below. I will also link my campsite page where I gather some affiliate deals for y'all. That does help the channel, as well as the link for this light, as I am an Amazon affiliate. And we'll be doing more of these, so we'll catch you soon. Appreciate y'all watching, and I will see you next time I make a video. Y'all stay safe.